The security guard's grip bruised her arm. Don't touch what you can't afford. Jason Whitmore's voice cut through the diamond boutique like a blade. The man who had destroyed her 3 years ago stood behind the counter, smiling the same cruel smile. Some people stay poor forever. Customers turned. Sales associates whispered. Laughter rippled through the store. Kagiso's hands trembled, not from fear, from humiliation. She pulled free and walked out before they could drag her. 3 blocks later, her vision blurred. She made the call. "Honey, I need you." 3 words. That was all it took to ruin a man's life. Hello, my lovelies at Hearts and Soul. Tell me where you're watching from today, and if you believe love can be dangerous, make sure you're part of this family by subscribing, because the woman who had just been thrown out of that shop was not alone, and the man she called did not forgive insults. 20 miles away, a meeting of crime lords went silent. Kang Dai stood from his chair. "We're done here." Minjan saw his face and went pale. "What happened?" "Someone touched my wife." Black cars lined the boulevard within minutes. Men in dark suits emerged. Then Kang Dai stepped out, looking like beautiful death. He crossed to Kagiso and pulled her close. "Who?" "It doesn't matter. Who touched you?" "My ex-boyfriend, Jason. He manages the store." Kang Dai smiled. It was terrifying. "Wait here, my love. This won't take long." Inside the boutique, Jason looked up as the door opened. His smile died. Kang Dai stood in the entrance, flanked by 6 men who looked like nightmares. "Close the store," Kang Dai said softly. A staff member ran to lock the doors. Kang Dai walked forward, each step a countdown. "Do you know who I am?" Jason's face went white. Yes, sir." "You saw a woman alone and decided she was beneath you, called her poor, had her thrown out." "I didn't know." "My wife." The words fell like an execution. "The woman I would burn this city for." Minjan placed a folder on the counter. "As of 1 hour ago, Diamond Galaxy has new ownership. You no longer work here. You'll find employment difficult anywhere in Seoul." Kang Dai leaned closer. "My wife's name is Kagiso So. Anyone who forgets that will wish they'd never learned to speak." Jason ran. Outside, Kang Dai kissed Kagiso softly. "Better?" "You didn't have to." "Yes, I did. No one humiliates you. Ever." They drove away, but neither saw Jason above the store, phone pressed to his ear. "She's real. Kang Dai's wife, and she's the girl from Jwaneng." A woman's voice sharpened. "Are you certain?" "Positive." "Jason, you just became very valuable to me again." The line went dead.
Jason realized he'd awakened something far more dangerous than a mafia lord's revenge. A ghost from Kagiso's past. One had been waiting 3 years for this exact moment. Kagiso met Kang Dai 6 months ago in a hospital waiting room at 3 a.m. She was there for her dying grandmother. He was covered in blood that wasn't his. "You're staring," he'd said. "You're bleeding. Not my blood." He sat beside her in silence. When the doctor delivered bad news, this stranger took her hand. "Death doesn't ask permission," he said quietly, "but neither does life. You'll survive this." 3 days later, every hospital bill was paid, anonymous donation. She found him at a cafe. Why? Because you needed help. Dark eyes that missed nothing, and I don't like watching people suffer alone. "Who are you?" "Someone you should probably avoid." She didn't. Within a week, they were inseparable. Within a month, he told her everything. His name, his empire, the fear he commanded. He gave her every reason to run. She stayed. "I'm not afraid of you," she whispered the night he proposed. "You should be. I'm afraid of what I'd do if I lost you." They married in secret. No family, no announcement, just vows and 2 witnesses who would die before they talked. Kagiso became a ghost, the Mafia lord's hidden wife. Until today. That night in the penthouse, Kang Dae stood at the window, shoulders tense. "Your ex-boyfriend works for the Nakamura family," he said. Ice flooded her veins. The Japanese syndicate trying to take Seoul, Kang Dae's greatest rivals. He's a jeweler, a money launderer. Diamond Galaxy is a front, has been for 2 years. Kagiso sat slowly. "So when I walked in, you walked into enemy territory." He turned. "They have your face now, your name. They know you exist. But not that I'm your wife. They will, soon." He knelt before her. "I exposed you to protect your pride. Now I have to protect your life." "I'm sorry." "No, you wanted to feel normal. I should have told you about that store weeks ago." His hand cupped her cheek. "I've been watching Diamond Galaxy for months. I didn't know your ex worked there." Something in his tone made her pause. "What aren't you telling me?" Fear flashed across his face, real, raw fear. "There's someone inside Nakamura's organization feeding me information. They went silent the moment you walked into that shop." "You think they're dead?" "I think they're compromised." He pulled out his phone. "And I think Jason recognized you for a reason." "What reason?" 3 years ago, when he dated you, he might have already been working for them." The room tilted. "You think he was sent to me?" "I don't know, but I'm going to find out."
Minjun burst through the door. "Sir, Jason's gone, disappeared from his apartment." Kang Dae's expression went arctic. "Find him." "There's more." Minjun showed his tablet. "We intercepted a message. Nakamura knows about your wife, and he's coming for her." Kagiso's blood ran cold. Kang Dae stood, pulling her close. "Pack a bag. We're moving you to the safe house." "What about you?" "I'm ending this." His eyes were black fire. "Tonight." But what none of them knew was that Nakamura wasn't the real threat. Someone else had been watching Kagiso her entire life. Someone who knew secrets about her family that could destroy everything. And Jason had just led them straight to her door. The call came at dawn. Kang Dae was already dressed, gun holstered, voice lethal on the phone. "Find him, now." He met Kagiso's eyes. "Jason contacted Nakamura. They're making their move." Before she could respond, Minjun appeared. "Sir, problem." He showed security footage, Diamond Galaxy, last night. A man with silver hair entering through the back. Kang Dae went still. Nakamura himself. "He took something from the safe." "The ledger," Kagiso breathed. "He took the ledger." "What ledger?" Kagiso asked. Kang Dae looked at her with hollow eyes. "Proof that half my inner circle is betraying me. Evidence I've been searching for 3 years." He ran a hand through his hair. "Jason was my informant. He was stealing that ledger from Nakamura when he met you and vanished." The world stopped. "What?" "Your ex-boyfriend worked for me. Then he disappeared. I thought he was dead." Kang Dae's voice cracked. "When I learned he worked at Diamond Galaxy, I saw an opportunity." Pain lanced through her chest. "You used me." "Kagiso?" "I was bait." "No, don't touch me." She stepped back. Minjun's phone buzzed. He went pale. "Sir, message from unknown number." He turned the screen. "We have your informant. Come to the warehouse district, midnight, alone, or we expose everything, including proof that you married your spy's ex-girlfriend." "It's a trap," Minjun said. "Obviously." Kang Dae's voice was flat. "You can't go." Kagiso spoke suddenly. "Jason doesn't know you're his handler, right? You never met face to face?" "Correct." "So use that. Make Nakamura think I'm the target, not the connection." Her eyes blazed. "Let me help fix what we both broke." too dangerous. It's the only way. Kang Dae stared at her. If you're wrong, then we both made mistakes trusting the wrong people. The words hung between them like broken glass. But what neither knew was that Jason had already chosen sides, and the person he'd chosen wasn't Nakamura. It was someone far more dangerous.
Someone from Kagiso's past who'd been waiting years for this moment. The warehouse smelled like rust and rain. Kagiso stepped in fried, wearing a wire, Kang Dae's voice in her earpiece. His men surrounded the building, invisible, deadly. Jason stood under a single light, hands bound, face bruised. Nakamura's guards flanked him, and Nakamura himself sat relaxed, smiling. Mrs. Seo, how lovely. Kagiso stopped 10 feet away. Let him go. So protective, even after he humiliated you. Nakamura stood. Tell me, does your husband know Jason worked for me, that your entire relationship was a setup? Her blood turned to ice. I know. Do you? He circled Jason. Do you know he was supposed to seduce you, gather information, and report back? Jason's head snapped up. That's not... I never... Quiet. Nakamura pulled out his phone, showing a photograph. Kagiso's grandmother, young, beside a man in military uniform. Your grandmother was Colonel Tobogo's wife, the man who smuggled diamonds from Botswana for 30 years, the man who built an empire before dying mysteriously in Seoul. The room spun. You're lying. Ask yourself why a poor girl ended up in Seoul with a scholarship, why your grandmother had money for hospitals, why you speak 3 languages. Nakamura smiled. Your grandmother hid a fortune. Everyone's been looking for it. She died with nothing. She died with secrets. That's why I sent Jason, to make you trust him, find the diamonds. Jason's voice cracked. I fell in love with her. I stopped reporting. You failed, so I gave you another job, laundering money. Nakamura looked at Kagiso. Then you married Kang Dae. Suddenly you weren't just a target, you were a weapon. In her ear, get out, now. Where are the diamonds? Nakamura asked softly. I don't know. Then you're useless. He nodded to his guards. They raised guns. Jason screamed, Wait, the hospital! Her grandmother told her before she died. He's lying, Kagiso said quickly. Nakamura studied her. Is he? Grandmothers always tell secrets before they die. She told me she loved me, nothing else. Then you won't mind if I search her hospital room. Kagiso's heart stopped because her grandmother's final words had been, under the jasmine tree where your grandfather proposed. There's nothing there, she whispered. A gunshot exploded. Lights went out. Chaos, shouting, gunfire, darkness. Hands grabbed Kagiso. Move! Minjun hauled her outside to the waiting car. Where's Kang Dae? Getting Jason. Minutes later, Kang Dae emerged, dragging Jason. Blood streaked his face. He shoved Jason into the car. Drive. Inside, Kang Dae pressed a gun to Jason's temple. Who told Nakamura about Kagiso's grandmother? A woman approached me in Jwaneng, paid me to get close, said her family owed a debt. What woman? I never got her name, but she had a scar. He touched his collarbone, shaped like a crescent moon. The world stopped. Kagiso knew that scar. A woman who'd visited her grandmother, a woman her grandmother called sister. But her grandmother was an only child, which meant someone else had been searching for the diamonds. Someone who might be the reason her grandfather died, and someone still watching, waiting, closing in. The safe house was a fortress in the mountains. Kagiso stood at the window watching dawn break. Behind her, Kang Dae interrogated Jason. This woman with the scar, where did she find you? A bar in Jwaneng. She knew everything, my debts, my family, offered money to get close to Kagiso. Min-jun entered with a tablet. "Sir, we found something." Hospital security footage played. The night Kagiso's grandmother died, a woman entered after hours. When she leaned over the bed, her scarf slipped. A crescent scar gleamed on her collarbone. Min-jun froze the frame. Kagiso's knees buckled. "No!" The woman was her aunt, Zainab, the one who raised her after her mother died, who sent her to Seoul, who vanished. "Your aunt?" Kang-dae asked quietly. "She said she was, but my mother was an only child." Kagiso's voice shook. Min-jun swiped to another file. Facial recognition. Her real name is Zainab Karabo, former intelligence officer, disappeared 20 years ago after being accused of stealing military assets. "Diamonds," Kagiso whispered. "She worked with your grandfather. When he tried to keep the final cash, she vanished. He died 2 weeks later." "She killed him." "Then tracked his family. Your grandmother, your mother, you." Min-jun's voice softened. "She's been watching your entire life, waiting for your grandmother to reveal where the diamonds are." Kang-dae gripped Kagiso's shoulders. "The jasmine tree, where is it?" "I don't know." "Think, where did your grandfather propose?" Fragments surfaced. Her grandmother's voice. "He proposed in a garden far from home, where jasmine grew wild." "Seoul," she breathed. "The botanical garden. She visited every year on their anniversary." Kang-dae turned to Min-jun. "Lock down that garden." Jason spoke weakly. "There's more. Zainab said the diamonds aren't just valuable, they're evidence." "Evidence of what?" "A tragedy. She said your grandfather documented everything, who ordered the killings. The diamonds are engraved with coordinates to where bodies are buried." Horror washed over Kagiso. "That's why everyone wants them." "For power and silence," Kang-dae said grimly. Min-jun's phone buzzed. His face went white. "The botanical garden. It's on fire." Flames consumed the jasmine section when they arrived. "Anyone inside?" Kang-dae grabbed a firefighter. "We found a woman, severe burns. She won't survive." They ran to the ambulance. The woman's face was destroyed, but the crescent scar remained visible. Zainab. Her eyes opened, found Kagiso. "You? Why?" Kagiso choked. "Your grandfather promised me half, then tried to keep everything." Blood bubbled at her lips. "So I took everything from him, his life, his wife's peace, his granddaughter's future. The diamonds? Where?" Zainab's smile was horrifying. "I dug them up tonight. The coordinates. I destroyed them. The truth is ash now." "You're lying." "Your grandmother lied to you. The jasmine tree was a test to see who you'd trust." Her grip tightened on Kagiso's wrist. "The real location she took to her grave, literally." Her eyes went empty. The paramedic checked, shook his head. Kagiso stumbled into Kang-dae's arms. "Her grave," she whispered. "Grandmother's buried in Jwaneng." Kang-dae's voice was steel. "Then we're going to Jwaneng." Subscribe now and type in the comment where you are watching from today, because what happens when they open that grave changes everything. Jwaneng was heat and chaos and buried memories. The cemetery sat overgrown at the city's edge. Her grandmother's grave was simple. No flowers, no visitors. Kang-dae's men dug in silence as the sun set. "Stop!" Min-jun's voice was urgent. "Company!" Black SUVs rolled through the gates. Nakamura emerged, flanked by armed men. And from the second vehicle, Jason. "You let him escape?" Kagiso hissed. "I didn't." Kang-dae's hand moved to his gun. Nakamura smiled across the graves. "Shall we be civil? We all want the same thing." "You want power. I want my wife safe." "Then give me the diamonds and walk away." "No." Kagiso stepped forward. These belong to my family, to the people who died." "How noble!" Nakamura's smile vanished. "Kill them." Gunfire erupted. Kangde shoved Kagiso behind a headstone. Bullets tore through air. His men returned fire. Bodies dropped. But Nakamura had more soldiers. "We can't win this," Minjun shouted. Jason appeared suddenly behind their cover. "There's a tunnel, old smuggling route, northwest corner." "Why help us?" Kagiso demanded. "Because I loved you, still do." He pressed a key into her hand. "Zainab gave me this before she died. Opens what's buried with your grandmother." "You were at the hospital." "I followed you. I'm sorry." His eyes were desperate. "Go. I'll hold them." He ran toward Nakamura's men, firing. "No!" Kagiso screamed. Gunfire. Jason's body hit the ground. Kangde dragged Kagiso toward the tunnel. Behind them, Jason lay still. They ran through darkness and earth. Footsteps echoed behind. Nakamura's men had found the entrance. They emerged in an abandoned church. Kangde's remaining men were gone. "Just us now," Minjun panted. Kangde pulled Kagiso close. "Whatever happens, marrying you was the only real thing I've ever done. Don't say goodbye. I love you more than power, more than survival." The church doors exploded. Nakamura entered alone, gun raised. "It's over. Your organization thinks you're a traitor. I control Seoul. You have nothing. I have her. For now." He aimed at Kagiso. "The diamonds or her life?" A voice cut through the tension. "Lower your weapon, Nakamura." Kagiso's grandmother walked through the door, very much alive. "Hello, my darling girl." Kagiso's world shattered. Her grandmother stood in the doorway, silver hair gleaming, eyes sharp and alive. Not frail, not dead, powerful. "No," Kagiso whispered. "You died. I watched you." "You watched what I needed you to see." Her grandmother walked forward calmly. "Lower your weapon, Nakamura. This doesn't concern you anymore." "You're supposed to be dead," Nakamura snarled. "People believe what serves them." She stopped beside Kagiso. "I needed everyone hunting ghosts while I moved the real treasure." Kangde's gun stayed trained on her. "Who are you really?" "Colonel Tabogo's widow, Zainab's former partner, the woman who's been 10 steps ahead of all of you." She touched Kagiso's face. "And the person who arranged your marriage." The floor dropped from beneath Kagiso. "What?" "6 months ago, I paid Kangde's father a fortune to broker a marriage. Protection for you, power for him." Her smile was sad. "I knew Zainab was closing in. I needed you hidden inside an empire she couldn't touch." Kangde's face went white. "My father said the arrangement was political." "It was survival." She looked at him. "But somewhere along the way you fell in love. That I didn't plan." "You used us both." Kagiso's voice broke. "I saved you both. Zainab would have tortured you for information you didn't have. Nakamura would have killed you for sport." Her grandmother's eyes hardened. "I did what mothers do. I protected my blood." "By faking your death? By letting me grieve?" "By giving you a reason to stay in Seoul, to stay close to Kangde, to stay alive." Nakamura laughed bitterly. "Where are the diamonds, old woman?" "Gone. Sold piece by piece over 30 years. The money funded schools, hospitals, justice for the families murdered in that coup." She pulled out a phone, showing photographs. "The coordinates your husband died protecting, I gave them to the International Court. The bodies were recovered. The guilty are facing trial." Silence crashed through the church. "You destroyed everything for justice?" Nakamura's face twisted. I destroyed everything for truth. She turned to Kagiso. The key Jason gave you opens a safe deposit box in Switzerland. Inside is evidence that clears Kang Dae's name, proof his inner circle betrayed him, not the other way around. Kang Dae stared. How did you... I've been watching him since the engagement, making sure he'd protect you properly. She smiled. You passed every test, young man. This is insane, Minjun muttered. This is love. Her grandmother faced Nakamura. Now leave. You've lost. I could kill all of you right now. You could try. She snapped her fingers. Armed soldiers flooded the church, Botswanan special forces, UN peacekeepers. They surrounded Nakamura. Your organization is being raided as we speak. Interpol has everything. You're laundering, all of it. Her voice was ice. You're finished. Nakamura's hands shook with rage, but he dropped his weapon. As they dragged him away, he looked at Kagiso. You really didn't know any of this? No. Then you're as much a pawn as the rest of us. The doors closed behind him. Kagiso turned to her grandmother, tears streaming. Was anything real? My love for you, always. She gripped Kagiso's hands. I'm sorry for the deception, but I'm not sorry you're alive. Jason died thinking... Jason knew the truth. I told him everything yesterday. He chose to sacrifice himself. Her grandmother's voice softened. He loved you enough to die protecting you. That was real too. Kang Dae stepped forward. What now? Now you go home, rebuild, use the evidence I gave you, take back your empire. She looked at Kagiso. And you decide if you can forgive an old woman's desperate choices. Kagiso looked at her husband, then at her grandmother. Two people who'd kept devastating secrets. Two people who'd protected her through manipulation and love. And she had to choose what came next. I need the truth, Kagiso said quietly. All of it. No more games. Her grandmother nodded. My grandfather and I witnessed a tragedy, government soldiers killing civilians over diamond mines. We stole the evidence, diamonds engraved with GPS coordinates of mass graves. We ran to Seoul. And Zainab? My partner, my friend, until greed poisoned her. Pain crossed her grandmother's face. She wanted to sell the diamonds to the highest bidder. My grandfather and I wanted justice, so we cut her out. She killed him for it. Yes, then spent 30 years hunting me. When your mother died giving birth to you, I knew Zainab would eventually use you as leverage, so I made you invisible, poor, unremarkable. Her voice cracked. I broke my own heart keeping you small to keep you safe. Kang Dae spoke up. The scholarship to Seoul? My doing. I needed her close when the endgame started, close to someone powerful enough to protect her when I couldn't anymore. She met his eyes. I researched every crime family in Asia. You were the only one with honor, the only one who protected women and children. So I paid your father to arrange the marriage. He told me it was business, Kang Dae said bitterly. It was the best business decision he ever made. He got you a wife you'd actually love. She turned to Kagiso. I couldn't risk telling you. Zainab had spies everywhere, even Jason before he turned. Kagiso's chest ached. When did Jason switch sides? The night he met you, really met you, not the target, the person. Her grandmother smiled sadly. He called me in tears, said he couldn't go through with it. I paid him to disappear, to hurt you so badly you'd never look back. He did his job well, too well, but it kept you alive. She pulled out a tablet. This is what's in the Swiss account, not just evidence clearing Kang Dae, complete files on every corrupt official involved in the Botswana tragedy. Names, bank accounts, orders, enough to bring down 3 governments. Kang Dae took the tablet. His eyes widened. This is power, her grandmother finished, the kind that changes everything. Use it wisely. Min Jun's phone buzzed. He listened, then smiled. Sir, the evidence just hit Seoul. Your inner circle is being arrested. The legitimate council members are asking you to come home. Kang Dae looked at Kagiso. Do we? I don't know. She faced her grandmother. You saved me, but you also stole my choices, my grief, my truth. I did. I can't forgive that yet. I know. Her grandmother kissed her forehead. But maybe someday. Where will you go? Testimony, courts, justice. She smiled. I'm 73. I've run long enough. Will I see you again? When you're ready to look for me, I'll be there. She walked away, soldiers escorting her to a waiting helicopter. Kagiso watched until she disappeared into the sky. Kang Dae wrapped his arms around her from behind. We don't have to go back to Seoul. We can disappear, start over somewhere quiet. You'd give up your empire for me? I'd give up everything for you. He turned her to face him. I married you because my father arranged it. I stayed married because I fell in love, and I'll spend the rest of my life proving that what we have is real, not manipulation, not strategy, real. Tears spilled down her cheeks. Jason died for us. He died knowing you'd be protected. That's what love does. Kang Dae wiped her tears. We honor him by living, by choosing each other every day. Seoul, then? Seoul, he confirmed, but on our terms. No more secrets, no more lies. She kissed him, deep, desperate, full of everything they'd survived. When they pulled apart, Min Jun cleared his throat. The plane's ready, sir. They walked out of the church together. Behind them, Jwaneng burned gold in the sunset. Ahead, Seoul waited, dangerous, glittering, theirs to reclaim. But in the shadows of the cemetery, a figure watched them leave, a woman with burns healing on her face. Zainab had survived, and she wasn't finished yet. 3 months later, Seoul glittered beneath their penthouse. Kagiso stood on the balcony, watching the city pulse with light. Kang Dae's empire had been rebuilt, stronger, legitimate. The evidence from Switzerland cleared his name and destroyed his enemies. He wrapped a blanket around her shoulders. You're thinking too loud. About Jason, grandmother, everything we lost. And I'm grateful we survived. She turned. I need to tell you something. His eyes searched hers. What? I'm pregnant. The world stopped. Shock, joy, terror, love cascaded across his face. You're 12 weeks. He dropped to his knees, pressing his forehead against her stomach. A baby. Our baby. Not arranged, not manipulated, just ours. When he looked up, tears streamed down his face. I don't deserve this. We choose what comes next. She pulled him up. We choose love, truth, our child knowing they're wanted. He kissed her like she was oxygen. A knock interrupted. Min Jun entered with a young woman. I'm Nessa, Jason's sister. Kagiso's breath caught. She sent me a video, asked me to deliver it only if you survived and found happiness. She handed over a phone. Jason's bruised face filled the screen. Kagiso, if you're watching this, I'm gone, and I hope you're safe. Loving you was the only honest thing I ever did. I messed up, hurt you, but walking away was protecting you, not abandoning you. I know you married Kang Dae. He'll protect you better than I could. Be happy. You deserve every beautiful thing. The video ended. Nessa handed over an envelope. Inside, a photograph of them laughing 3 years ago. On the back, the moment I realized I loved you more than the mission. And a bank receipt. Jason had transferred his savings to a children's hospital in Jwaneng in her grandmother's name. He knew about the justice, Kagiso whispered. He wanted to be part of it. Nessa stood. One more thing. Police found a woman's body near the cemetery. Severe burns. Zainab's dead. Relief washed over her. It's really over. When Nessa left, they returned to the balcony. What do we tell our child? Kagiso asked. The truth, that love is complicated, that people protect you in ways that hurt, but we fought for each other, chose honesty. He placed his hand over her stomach, and they're born from something real. They stood together as night deepened, 2 people who'd survived manipulation and violence, 2 people who'd found love in the wreckage. Kagiso never returned to that diamond shop, but sometimes when light caught her wedding ring, she remembered the girl who'd been mocked and humiliated. And she smiled, because that girl had become a queen, not through wealth or power, but through survival, truth, and love that refused to break. Tell me in the comments, what would you have done? Subscribe and join our Hearts in Seoul family.